This is AM Agenda. With me now, the Parliamentary Secretary to the Prime Minister, Alan Tudge. Alan Tudge, thanks very much for your time. Before we get onto the politics, and there's been a lot of it this week, I want to ask you, as the Minister assisting the Prime Minister on Indigenous affairs, this Closing the Gap report is a real worry, isn't it? Because after seemingly progress, things have stalled a bit.
It is a disappointing report, but there is some progress in some areas, and that's encouraging. For example, there's 50% more Indigenous people in universities now than there was a decade ago. The Year 12 completion rate is significantly higher. The life expectancy gap has narrowed. So there are positive signs there. There is progress being made, but we've still got such a long way to go. In terms of the life expectancy, the big number, I guess, the most important number in many respects. Mick Gooder this morning told me that that is a result of all the other building blocks, even all the way back to infant health and going to school in the early years. That they are all have a flow-on effect from those very early days. Absolutely. To the life expectancy rate. Absolutely. The life expectancy gap now is about 10 years. Now, a lot of it is related to chronic diseases later on in life. Now, some of that is due to, of course, if you're smoking and drinking, or if you have a poor diet, you're more likely to get diabetes and other things. But it does go all the way back to early childhood, and we're taking pretty seriously some of the recommendations of the Forest Report, which in essence say you must start there, from when the baby's born, and provide a very healthy upbringing, the building blocks, and ensuring that they are at school and then into work, and then you're much more likely to have a healthy life. So even though the Closing the Gap targets, half of them are not on track and one hasn't been met at all, you still believe that there is some cause for optimism? Because I do. Mick Gooder was, when I spoke to him, was fairly depressed about this report. Listen, we've had, this has been a 30-year problem, if you like, and we're not going to turn things around overnight, but there are signs of progress, and they are encouraging, and we must be optimistic, and we must continue along this journey. Now, our approach has been to focus absolutely on two of the core fundamentals which underpin every healthy society and all of human humanity, and that is kids learning from adults and adults being engaged in work for their sustenance. So that's our core focus: school attendance and getting adults into work, because if you get those things right, then typically a lot of other things tend to take care of themselves. Now, in terms of the school attendance, where is that at? Particularly, I guess, right from the age of preschool attendance, because given this knowledge that all of that is so pivotal to, first of all, then going into senior school and then tertiary education and all the rest of it. Yeah, absolutely. So now, of course, preschool's not compulsory, but we're strongly encouraging families to send their kids to preschool, and actually one of the gap measures, which is very close to being met, is providing access for all Indigenous kids to go to preschool. So that's a positive. The biggest problem is at the school level, and particularly in the remote areas where we still have catastrophic school attendance rates. Now, we've already invested a lot of effort in that front by employing local attendance officers to literally support getting the kids to school. That's had some impact, but we've still got a long way to go. One question to go, and I just want to get your thoughts on this submarine issue. There's been a lot of confusion about it, suggestion that this South Australian Senator, Sean Edwards, had negotiated this in return for his vote. Regardless of, I guess, the defence question, this is just not a good look, is it? The fact that a national security acquisition is being discussed in the same breath as the leadership ballot. Well, listen, at the end of the day, the decision was made to have a competitive evaluation process. That's the same process, by the way, that Labor used in their years when they were making big defence acquisitions. So let's just keep that in perspective. But you accept that it's not a good look, surely, in the national security debate? As long as the right decision was made, I think we should be happy. And in this case, the right decision was made to have a competitive evaluation process, the same as what occurred in the past, and as a result of that, we'll get a great submarine outcome, as well as get value for money out of it. Mr Tudge, thanks for your time. Thanks so much, Kieran. Now, Malcolm Turnbull, the Communications Minister.